Hey guys, I'm RailRider. A super underrated park is California's Great America in, California. If you haven't heard of this park before, it's located in Santa Clara. This park has pretty decent roller coasters and pretty good food. But if you read the title, you know what this video is about. I'm ranking all 9 roller coasters at this park worst to the best. And for this being a smaller park, they have some pretty good coasters, especially the top 2. Anyways, let's get into the video. 9. Lucy's Krabby Cabbies. This is such an odd name for a roller coaster, and you could just tell by the name that it's for small children. This steel coaster's max height is a whopping 8 feet, and goes in an oval with the tiniest bunny hops you'll ever see. Lucy's Cabbies was built 1999, and was previously named Taxi Jam. The only good thing about this coaster is the billboard that you go under. That's all the stats I could find, so let's move on to a little bit of a better coaster. 8. Woodstock Express. At every Cedar Fair park you go to, you'll see a coaster called Woodstock Express. The funny part is that even with sharing the name, they're all pretty different. This coaster was built 1984 by Intamin. This steel kiddie coaster is 1,300 feet long and has a helix. I wasn't able to find the height or speed anywhere. 7. The Grizzly. This honestly might be the worst thrill coaster I've ever been on. And if you've ever ridden this ride, then you know what I'm talking about. It's not thrilling at all, with a max height of 91 feet and goes 55 miles per hour. This wooden coaster looks pretty good stats-wise though, also having 3,250 feet of track. But don't let that deceive you. The layout of this ride is so boring, I could probably fall asleep on it. It's just only hills. You might be saying it's probably not even intended to be thrilling. Sadly, it is. As on the app, it has the same thrill level as Gold Striker. Grizzly was opened in 1987 and should have gotten the RMC or GCI treatment a long time ago. 6. Psycho Mouse. Psycho Mouse is really just your average wild mouse. This coaster was made by Aerodynamics and has 1,257 feet of track. Psycho Mouse, opening 2001, has a max speed of 30 miles per hour and a top height of 58 feet. Like all wild mice, there's a series of drops and sharp turns. This is a pretty well maintained wild mouse, but it has so much potential. If they repainted the coaster and adding spinning cars like the one at Cedar Point, it would be a great wild mouse. Overall, this is a pretty enjoyable coaster. 5. Patriot. This coaster and the next one are super close, and I might change my feelings for them later on. Patriot is a B&M floorless and is pretty great. This coaster opened in 1991 and was B&M's second roller coaster. This coaster goes 40 miles per hour and is 91 feet tall. For a long time, this 1,900 foot long coaster was called Vortex, and it was a stand-up coaster. Vortex got a lot of complaints and was changed to 2016. This coaster has 2 inversions, which are a vertical loop and a corkscrew. Patriot also has non-inverting elements, being a helix and 2 turnaround hills. I've ridden this coaster many times, and I've always thought there's something lacking, and I can't find what. Maybe it's too short, or it's lacking on inversions. This coaster and the next 4 are must-ride rides though. 4. Demon. Demon was built 1976 by Aerodynamics. This coaster goes 50 miles per hour and the max height is 90 feet. But the thing that makes this 2,100 feet of track beast is that it has 4 inversions, which are pretty good. This includes 2 vertical loops, one being 55 feet and the other being 79 feet. The other 2 inversions are a double corkscrew. This coaster is really thrilling, and it also has a pretty cool theme, with 2 tunnels with lights and even a skull cave. The one thing about this coaster that I hate is that it's so janky and rough. It's so rough, it's not as enjoyable as it would have been. And I don't mind bumpy, liking Viper at Magic Mountain and Magnum XL 200. I still ride this ride multiple times when I come to this park though. 3. Flight Deck. This coaster is an inverted B&M and it's super fun. With 2,200 feet of track, you go through 3 inversions at the speed of 50 miles per hour. You start at the lift hill, which is 102 feet tall, and you fall down. Right after this, you go into your first inversion, which is a vertical loop. Then you do an inclined helix that goes into a 0G roll, which rolls so smoothly, and people who are standing outside the coaster can clearly see this, and it just looks amazing. Then, after a couple of turns, you go to a pond area and do a corkscrew into a super low helix, where you get insanely close to the water. Also, if you ride this coaster at night, you almost see nothing during that part, and it's absurd. After this, you pull back into the loading station. This coaster is already good enough to be third, but to top it off, the line details are sick, as you can see jet-themed items. Overall, this coaster and the next two are just amazing. 2. Gold Striker. I think that Gold Striker is my favorite wooden roller coaster in California. This beast of a wooden coaster was built 2013 by GCI, and it's amazing. With a max height of 108 feet, a max speed of 53 miles per hour, and 3,200 feet of track, these wooden coaster stats are wild. You race across the track with different sharp turns and hills. The airtime on this ride is what makes it so good though. It really does feel like you'll fly out of your seat. I think it's a top 5 airtime wooden coasters for me. Even though the elements are lacking, this is easily an S tier coaster, but only one in this park could beat it. 1. Railblazer. This coaster is just a wow. If you've never been on a single roller coaster before, they're just insane. This is CGA's newest coaster opening 2018, and it was manufactured by RMC. Railblazer, Wonder Woman at Fiesta Texas, and Stunt Pilot at Silverwood are all identical to each other. I've ridden 2 out of the 3, and it felt like Railblazer was more smooth than Wonder Woman. This coaster has a max height of 106 feet and goes 52 miles per hour. Railblazer is pretty compacted, being 1,800 feet long, but that's what makes it so fun. The coaster has 3 inversions, being a dive loop, a cutback, and a corkscrew. The coaster is so aggressive, it feels like it's trying to fling you off the ride. It reminds me a lot of a Hot Wheels track that's super compacted. It helps that the track's orange too. This coaster is just insane, and is the best roller coaster at California's Great America. Well, you've reached the end of the video. CGA is such a great looking park compared to the rest of California's parks. Maybe they could use a new ride, but Railblazer and Gold Striker alone is worth coming. It's a shame that the park's closing 2033, as it has so much potential, but you guys need to visit before it closes. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, you can subscribe if you want. If you guys have any video ideas, comment them in the comment section. I might do them. Anyways, with all that, I'm out.